activated by...
Let's go, Edmonton Oilers fans! What a game! We're back. It's Game Over, Battle of Alberta edition. We got... introduce yourselves.
I'm Peter Klein.
I'm Auddie.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Dennis. This is the best. I couldn't imagine a better outcome, honestly.
Yeah, it was great.
It's the best I've felt since Nashville 6-1. It's unreal.
And we're here live at the Pint on Whyte. Guys, make some noise. Thank you so much.
All the Flames fans finally had something to cheer about tonight.
And obviously this is Game Over Edmonton and Game Over Calgary. But we got to thank our title sponsor, Temperance Spirits. Game Over Edmonton is activated by Temperance Spirits. Now, Game Over Edmonton is your source for the best analysis of the Edmonton Oilers in the 2023-2024 season. But Game Over Edmonton is also pleased to be have our title sponsor, Temperance Spirits, Edmonton's preferred non-alcoholic beverage realtor. Temperance curates a selection of local, craft, non-alcoholic options. You can choose from a selection of beers and wines, mocktails and spirits. We're enjoying it right across the panel right now. We believe that a social lifestyle does not require the consumption of alcohol. And to celebrate Sober October, still a couple days left, you can enjoy 10% off some of our favorite beverages. Let's give a toast to being sober this October. You can find Temperance online at www.temperance-spirits.com or follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Temperance Spirits. And with that, guys, let's cap it off. The Edmonton Oilers win 5-2 in the Heritage Classic.
It's almost like we're not 2-5-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, someone's gonna tell Zach what the record is now.
Yeah, let's chill the fuck out. Let's calm down here. It was a sick win. Evander Kane played well. Connor McDavid's back healthy, but you know what? We still got a long, big road to climb. I was super sick from what I heard. I was at the game, didn't see much of the game, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really cool event. Never been to an outdoor game before. There was a lot of people there. It felt like there was a lot of people there.
55,000.
Yeah, it was jam-packed, but you can tell, even though there was a lot of people there, everyone was really cold. Even when Nickelback came on, the vibes were not as high as they probably should have been.
We had to watch the broadcast, and they only played 2 songs.
Oh, you missed Rockstar.
My wife texted me, she's like, I think they just played Rockstar. And I'm like, of course, they played the only 2 songs I didn't want to hear.
I was stunned they didn't play Burn It to the Ground.
I know.
That was the playoff song.
The hype song. Yeah,
It was. No, it was pretty. I was a little disappointed.
You heard it first.
Okay, let's chill out. I mean, Huberto got an assist, so you know that was
Kadri finally scored.
Kadri finally scored.
That concludes it for the Game Over Calgary portion of the show.
Oh man.
But all it took was 2 5-on-3s and an extra couple power plays, and hey, you guys got 2 goals. There's that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Are you trying to make it sting?
400 chances, so I mean, like, really capitalizing on the opportunities they're getting, at least.
Yeah.
You got scored on by Vincent Desharnais.
His first NHL goal. How
I
did that
thought
make
it
you
was
feel?
Evander Kane up until...
Evander Kane's had a pretty rough start to the season, so it's not much better. But I will say, tonight, Evander Kane led the Oilers in game score. I think he had a 70% XG or something. He was unreal. Like, the best game Evander Kane's played for the Oilers since, like, the first playoff run. Probably against Calgary, actually. You know, some of those games when he scored. I think he had a hat trick against Calgary. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds about par for the course for the Flames.
Yeah.
But like, hold on. If you want to talk Battle of Alberta, right? Like last playoff series.
Oh, I would love to talk Battle of Alberta. Keep going, please.
This paled in comparison to the last playoff series, right? Like
It hasn't been the same since the last playoff series. Nothing has been the same in Calgary since the last playoff series.
like honestly,
Not
that
just the Battle of Alberta.
it blew up your team.
Yeah, he was. But yeah, aside from it's been pretty boring, lackluster Battle of battles of Alberta so far. But it's I don't see it getting any better for the Flames. But what are you pulling up here?
Just looking at the money, but not only did the Oilers win the game, they also won the deserved to win.
Dominant.
Yeah,
Dominant
that's shocking.
performance.
Yeah, if you watched the first 2 minutes of the game, I'm sure you could have come to that conclusion on your own.
here's the thing though, right? Like from rip, you could tell that the Oilers didn't want to lose at home. And I mean, that goes to show, but you have this outdoor stadium, 55,000 people in the arena. Like, if there was a time to show up, this would be it. And both teams come into this with 4-game losing streaks. One of them had to get this 5th losing streak. In the beginning, we were saying last show, we were joking, if there was a way for both teams to lose, they would find it out.
yeah.
They would have a 27-round shootout or something like that. But in the end, right, this was partially, I think, a factor of home team advantage. Just the crowd. There were a lot of jerseys out there that were Calgary-based, but as soon as that first period, those couple of goals came in, everyone was so deflated wearing a Flames jersey.
Once you heard Connor McDavid announced in the starting lineup at the arena, the vibes were so different.
So I drove up here today, and like I didn't have the best of service on my way up. I don't check my phone. Like that, you got to be a responsible driver. It was a jump scare to see when I got here that I had a notification on my phone saying that Connor McDavid was going to be in the lineup tonight. I don't know about you, Peter. I was a little bit worried, and then I had every right to be once the puck finally dropped.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think it would have mattered. Honestly, it made me feel a little bit better that the Flames were going to lose to Connor McDavid and the Oilers instead of a Connor McDavid-less Edmonton Oilers. That's just kind of the way it's been going right now for the Flames. So no, like, it would have been easier had he not been in the lineup, and also didn't look like he was hindered at all. He was phenomenal tonight from what we could see on the TV broadcast. But no, he was great. But no, the way Calgary is going at this point, they've lost 4 in a row to teams that didn't have Connor McDavid, so it didn't really matter.
How long was he supposed to be out for? Was it like
1
weeks?
to 2 weeks. Usually the Oilers, they jump in and they say day to day. A player could be out for a month and a half, and they'll just be day to day, day to day, day to day. When he got injured on a Sunday and they said 1 to 2 weeks, it didn't matter what anyone said. Oh, he might miss the Heritage Classic. That almost was just to drum up a little drama for the game. There was zero doubt that he was going to miss the game. Obviously didn't miss the game, and we saw the result. The Oilers dominated. But again, Connor McDavid was not their best player. Kane, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Broberg, and Desharnais, 11 and 7. You take Matthias Janmark out of the lineup, look what happens. He goes from the first line to purgatory. All of a sudden, the Oilers are one of the best teams in the NHL.
Dude, Fogle on the first line, and you know what? I thought really Kulak has played an incredible season. Like, he's never a guy that really comes to mind when you say defensive stalwart, offensive defenseman. He's just a guy. But here's the thing, right? Like, Kulak, he was flying. In the past couple of games, you saw him try to push, try to cycle. Like, he was really activating a lot. And today, that activation resulted in a goal. Like, it was a beautiful one, too.
Dude, it was unreal. Stoney playing Alberta boy. Unreal goal. He's a really mobile skater, and honestly, it kind of surprises me that he doesn't put up more offense than he does because of how exceptional he is when it comes to making breakout passes, and he kind of has the benefit of a low quality of competition playing on that third pairing. Now his partner kind of gets rotated a lot. It's either Broberg, Desharnais, whoever, mix and put whoever in that pairing. But Kulak's been really good. I was really happy to see him get the first goal of the game today. Obviously, I'm sure you guys weren't.
I was thrilled, actually.
Yeah, you should have put a little money on
I forgot
that.
he wasn't a Flame anymore.
But no, I was pretty happy with the way Brett Kulak played. I was really happy with the way the entire Oilers defense plays. Once again, an Oilers goalie puts up above a 900 save percentage, they win the game. Very simple. Doesn't matter how many goals they score or whatever. I guess besides the Rangers game where they got shut out by Jonathan Quick. But, you know.
I thought he was unplayable.
He is. I thought it was a gift last. I can't start because I'm getting mad. I can't talk about the Rangers
The only
game.
thing that I'm going to be able to hang my hat on for this game is to be able to dunk on you when I have the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's not a whole lot of chances for either one of us to do that, given how the Flames played tonight. But yeah, we're going to get our licks in whenever we can.
Yeah, it's been funny. Like, we're getting around here, getting everything set up. Oilers win 5-2, and Zach is still over there yelling about some fucking thing, about like a referee thing or something along those lines. Like, dude, man, you won the game. We're already like veering off into the path of a rant. But
The only voice that I could hear for a good chunk of time was this guy bitching and complaining about whatever the hell he was bitching and complaining.
There were two 90-second 5-on-3s. Leon Draisaitl's penalty was so stupid. Like, come on. 4 penalties in a row in the first period. Here's I get the Oilers are up 1-0. And every time, it's funny enough, when the Oilers walked in on one side, First of all, they had to walk a mile to get to the rink entrance. Notice how the refs are walking on the side of the Calgary Flames, and it wasn't even Steve Kazari. It was Graham Skillett or someone else. But anyways, that was a bullshit call. I was very upset when it happened. 1 second left in the 5-on-3. If the Flames score a second later, obviously there's no power play, so I was really upset when they scored at the game. But you know what? Life is good. The Oilers win 9. The Oilers will win the Stanley Cup, and probably the next day I'll be bitching about Adam Ernie again. So it doesn't really matter.
All those penalties were doing was giving Edmonton a chance to get a breakaway after 2 minutes. Because anyone out of the box would come up with an opportunity. Like for Calgary, the 5-on-3 looked worse than Edmonton's 5-on-4 did. And aside from the one goal, that really came off of nothing. There was no set play or whatever. It was just a puck thrown on net. Aside from that, the power play looked atrocious. And the defense was getting caught a lot, which led to on-man opportunities and eventually a goal, a very nice goal for Edmonton. So I thought all the power plays, while it may have felt like a gift at the time, was more just
Noted penalty kill. The whole reason he's on the roster from preseason, despite sucking and being worse than like 6 guys who are in Bakersfield right now. He's on the roster for penalty killing. They take him out of the lineup, and the penalty kill actually does significantly better than when he's in the lineup. So that was pretty funny. I might be wrong. Again, I was at the game, so I don't have the chance to take a lot of notes. Did AJ Greer score for the Flames on the power play?
Yeah.
Why is AJ Greer on the Flames power play?
see the rest of the power play.
I guess.
Is that how you guys decide it? Your power play coach just picks things from a straw?
That's how all the lines are decided these days in Calgary. you go to your kitchen and you grab your finest blender and you throw all the names in the blender. And you don't put the lid on because that would be too normal. You press start, you put it on the highest setting, and whatever spits out is what you get. And that's kind of how it's been for the last little while, last couple games in Calgary at least.
So like when you say the blender though, like here's the thing, right? Calgary is a team that has no real star players. So when we say like, oh, the blender's out, we usually talk about McDavid and Draisaitl are back together. They're doing something or other. They're just looking for a winger. Calgary really just has no superstar line, right? That's the issue. There's no clear nuclear option for them.
The Oilers have a superstar line. We're 2-5-1, Dennis.
Hold on,
That's
I
true.
just saw a little fedora pop up.
There
we got it. Oh,
we go!
we're finally full. Welcome.
5'3", but the strength of a guy who's 6'7". Oh my god. Yeah, that was crazy. What did you think of the game? You're in the press box tonight.
You know what? I like seeing the fact that more than McDavid and Draisaitl scored. You saw Vinny Arnega's first ever career goal. You saw Kane step up. Guys beyond those stepping up is a major thing for the Oilers. I like seeing that tonight, fellas.
This guy literally just pulled up and just instant, like, incredible analysis. He's just
Instant analysis.
Never not working. This guy's the hardest working man in hockey, I
I
swear.
tried. Hey, I'm West Indian. We all have like 14 jobs.
There's no off switch. 3 in the morning, he's watching Aussie Rules football, breaking it down. I don't get it. And he's up at 7 to be at Oilers practice.
Not that early.
Okay.
More like 8:30ish.
Either way, we're fully united now. We were gonna wait a little bit. I'm glad we didn't, but it's good to have you here. Thanks for finally showing up. Did you leave a nasty review for that Uber driver or what?
That was a mess. Well, traffic outside is chaos. Well, it was chaos for a while. My Uber circled, didn't know where Commonwealth was. It called me twice. It's like, holy cow. How you work for Uber and not know where a stadium is?
Little did you know, I actually infiltrated your Uber app and sent you on a wild goose chase to try to get here. But yeah, not a whole lot to report. Peter and I were talking before we went live, and we're like, thank God there's going to be 3 Edmonton guys here that we can talk to with, because they're just going to be carrying this show. There wasn't a whole lot to report, but yeah, I mean, what can we give like some final-ish thoughts on the Flames? And
I mean, basically, the extent of the analysis is the Rob Schneider meme of "Oh no, we suck again." That's basically what this team has been. But no, like I'm taking notes here, and my last note was like just quite simply not good enough. Like everything in this hockey game tonight, the Oilers were better than the Flames at, and it was actually a little startling from a Flames standpoint to see how much better Edmonton was. Offensively, the puck was moving in the offensive zone and it was dying in the flame zone. Defensively, there were breakdowns nonstop. At least Markstrom, I thought, played very, very well tonight and was, again, the Flames' best player. But it is another game where Calgary was clearly the second best team on the ice, and they have so long to go. I just listening to Avery, it's like, oh, it's nice that someone other than McDavid and Draisaitl stepped up. I was like, well, it'd be nice to be picky about who's stepping up for the Calgary Flames. Right now, it's nothing.
It's gonna eventually get to a point where it's nice that someone other than AJ Greer or Dryden Hunt or Sharon Govich or something.
That was another thing. So now I'm Zach and I'm ranting. My first note after Calgary net empty was Dryden Hunt chance, and then dash.
What?
Why? Why is Dryden Hunt out here with the net empty? Do we not have 4 better options than this right now?
Do we though? Is there really 4 better options? I mean, not that I'm not
tie for last.
Yeah, it's Dryden Hunt, and then everybody's on the same level. So it's like pick your poison.
Yeah.
The way you're talking about the team sounds like Daryl Sutter deployment. Like, it sounds like nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. You're right. Great analysis, Zach. Thank you. Nothing has changed since last year. It's not looking like anything's going to change. And the only difference between now and then was you don't have Daryl Sutter to blame anymore. Daryl Sutter's gone.
Yeah,
and
you don't have Lucic.
yeah, there's no Milan Lucic, there's no Trevor Lewis to be the scapegoat. There's really no excuse for it anymore. It's just the Flames running it back and clearly still not being good enough.
Did you think that in 23-24 the Flames' best player would be Nikita Zadorov?
No. No, quite simply, no. No, I didn't. No. There's really no excuse, I guess.
I can't say I'm thoroughly entertained by his quotes in the media. I really love listening to Zadorov talk, and I do think it's very funny when the Calgary Flames struggle. So you know what? I'm all for what's happening. It's been a pretty successful. In part, but the Oilers have been struggling too, so I can't be shitting too much. But it is pretty funny. You know, if I'm gonna be bad, at least you're bad too, if not worse, honestly. So that's better. Because the thing with Connor McDavid is, like, the Oilers can be 1-7, and there's always that belief that they're gonna go 15-1 in the next 16 games, right? And it feels like, I don't know, like every time they play the Flames at some point this season, that's kind of the first push to get the ball rolling in the positive direction. Whether it's that playoff series, whether it's this game tonight, because I said last game, like, this is gonna be a huge game. If the Oilers lost this game, I honestly would bet that they wouldn't make the playoffs, but this is that game, and you can see them all celebrating on the ice. You can see McDavid doing his interviews at TNT. You can see the smile on his face. When he said, I watched an interview with Kyle Dubkowski, he said, oh, this feels like the team that won 100 games over the last 2 years. I don't know what that was the last 7 games. I'm sure as hell was not us. And you can just sense the relief and the belief in this team, and it does feel like they're going to climb back up the standings. Like, if anything, they helped me line my pockets because they went from plus 800 to plus 1900 now to win the cup. So now is the optimum time to put your bets on the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. 2-5-1, they're not going to be 2-5-1 for long. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. It was a really positive experience all around. So
happy for you.
Yeah. We're riddled with joy. It's funny you'd say how important this game was for the Oilers. Likewise, it was for the Flames. But before we came on here and while we were still watching the game, Peter actually said something. Looks at me across the table. He says, "It feels like." Well, what did you say? It was
when the Flames pulled within 1. I was like, this still feels over, and by this I mean the season. Like, I know it's very doom and gloom for Game 9, but it feels like it's Game 91 of last year, because it's a continuation of everything, and it doesn't feel like, I don't know what turns it around to make it get better.
Yeah, I don't know what rights the ship, but talking about the Flames and their problems last year and how everything has seemingly stayed the same, we've beat it to death. We've talked about how the problem in Daryl Sutter is no longer there, but every other problem still is. You don't have anything to blame it on. So it's like, for lack of a better term, nut up or shut up. You gotta show up and prove everybody wrong or prove everybody that Sutter was the problem, and you guys can take it from there. But not too optimistic right now.
Macklin Celebrini looks really good. When the Oilers, it was full gloom for me. Like 48 hours ago, I was watching Macklin Celebrini highlights after the Oilers got shut out by Jonathan Quick. So I was there. I'm obviously not there anymore. I mean, it's either 100% all the way at the top or literally in the depths of hell. I go big or go home. But
That's the one thing, Zach. With you on Game Over, a show is never boring. Whenever you're hosting, it's always, oh, Zach's on? Turn that on right now. Always with you.
I actually put it in the group chat. I said I don't even want the Flames to win for our sake. I wanted the Flames to win so that I could see the most unhinged version of you on the show that I possibly could. And we got a taste of it before when you were kind of bitching and moaning about whatever you were bitching and moaning about. I don't even know, because I'm like, this guy just fucking won 5-2 and he's still over here complaining. But yeah, I was mostly hoping for the win so that we could have to deal with you after the fact.
you sound like the Twitter users that tweet me and go, "Oh, this guy's never happy. This asshole, be happy." Because, you know, okay, I like
Win
it.
a
You
cup,
got the
right?
win. Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
But, like, win a cup with the correct lines and the correct format. Like, right now, I get it. This game was sick. But, again, we beat the Flames. This isn't, like, the biggest
True, you're right.
challenge. McDavid and Draisaitl cannot be playing together full time like this.
Right.
This is that, and this is the thing. You beat the Flames. You got the monkey off your back. Now we keep Janmark out of the lineup. Adam Ernie only played 3 minutes tonight. 3 minutes, way too many.
Too many.
Oh, I can't watch him play. I don't know what he does well. He genuinely sucks at everything. I'd rather watch Dennis play on the fourth line than watch Adam Ernie. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's extortion. Like I don't have any other explanation for how he's on the Edmonton Oilers. But we're clearly, we got the ball rolling uphill. You can tell by the ice time discrepancy. Like McDavid and Draisaitl were above like 24 minutes each. Kane and Hyman were above like 20 and 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Nugent Hopkins, and then you have the bottom six, kind of more similar to last year, where it's like Holloway 9 minutes, Derek Ryan 10 minutes. They kind of need to bring those back into a little bit more even. They need to put a little bit more of the faith in the McLeods, the Holloways, the Fogle. But even though Fogle, I thought, played really well today.
I thought he was fine. And here's the thing, too, right? Like, Derek Ryan got a point tonight. Like, these are things where you got to get your depth rolling eventually. It's if you only rely on the nuclear option, like you mentioned, McDavid and Draisaitl, this team isn't going to go far. Even if you make the playoffs, you're going to be bounced round one, round two. So they need, again, probably McDavid, Draisaitl, and then a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins or a Ryan McLeod holding their own line. Honestly, Nuge hasn't been that good. He's been okay. You can't really replace Connor McDavid's minutes. You can't replace what he does on the ice. But at the same time, he doesn't look like the normal Nuge. He looked like playoff Nuge from last season.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has never been an exceptional 5-on-5 player. He's always been kind of the main driver on that power play. Even when McDavid and Draisaitl are both healthy on that power play, if Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is missing a game for his shoulder injury or whatever, the power play drops off significantly. He is good at very specific niche things, and any contender in the NHL, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a top 6 forward. With that being said, yes, 5-on-5, he does leave, I'd say, a little bit to be desired in terms of his production. But tonight, the 5-on-5 goals are 4-1. The Oilers were getting, they were playing bad, but the Oilers were getting their goaltending outside of Nashville and New York, which they got shut out, was not good. And you see some good goaltending tonight, but they were also getting PDO'd to hell. Like, the save percentage sucked. They were shooting like 4% or 5%. That is going to climb when you have the talent on this roster. So there was always reasons to be optimistic about the Oilers, despite having a 100% gloomy attitude. But you kind of see the ball get rolling tonight, and hopefully it's something that continues going forward.
Hopefully. And our prediction here now, I think after seeing the game against the Rangers and tonight, I think now goaltender, stay with Stuart Skinner. Stick with Stu now.
Stick with Stu.
Yep.
You're 100% right. He's gotten rolling. He's been really good in his past couple games. I believe he's on a streak of above 900 save
Yes, he
percentage.
is.
So that's way more than we could ask for. And, when you do have a game that you eventually falter, you go back to Soup and you hope that he can put up a save percentage above 900. And if he can, you keep rolling with him. And you just constantly have that going back and forth all year. Obviously, like, the dream for me would still be, make a trade for UC Soros or whatever. Whatever. But that's probably not going to happen. It's funny because UC Soros every year has like a 922 save percentage, and he gets pulled as he lets 5 goals on 15 shots against the Oilers 3 times a year. But 5 goals and 15 shots from Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, 3 times a year.
Yeah, I mean, looking at goaltenders as well, let's talk about Jacob Markstrom for a little bit, because
Finally, someone who played well. Yeah, let's do it.
He's a broken man against Edmonton. He's broken.
I thought he played well tonight. I mean, solid in 5, but I guess technically 4. But no, like I thought he was their best player tonight. It was the rest of the team around him that broke against Edmonton.
Nobody showed.
No. Defensively, this team was not very good. I mean, neither offensively, but no, like the numbers against Edmonton aren't great. So, like, absolutely, the benefit of the doubt has not been earned by this goalie against Edmonton. But I thought he was Calgary's best player tonight, and kind of has been all season long, even though the stats don't really back it up.
What's the deal with Chris Tanev? Has he been good this season?
I think he's been fine. I don't think he's definitely not the worst blue liner that the Flames have deployed this season. Cough 55, who is checked out and has been checked out since the preseason. Yet they're going to give him an extension by some miracle, even though he doesn't want to be there. But yeah, I don't think Tanev's been bad at all. I think he's actually been one of their better defenders this year.
Yeah, you don't notice him a lot, which is kind of the role he's supposed to play. So yeah, like he has been fine, but the whole team, they're trying, like a lot like what's going on in Edmonton, they're trying a new defensive system, which apparently for the first 9 games has been let teams get 40 shots on goal, which wouldn't be what I would pick, but that's kind of how they've been rolling so far. So I think it's been an adjustment for everyone, but I think he has played the role of Chris Tanev fine.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I noticed Chris Tanev when he got crushed by Evander Kane.
I knew that was coming.
But I was
gonna be.
Yeah, the other thing with Chris Tanev, the reason why I'm asking, I don't think they would even make a deal with the Oilers, but like the Oilers are looking for a top 4 right shot defenseman kind of in the Chris Tanev mold, and I don't think you guys are going to be in it. I know the Oilers, both teams only have 2 wins, but if we're thinking about who's going to be in it, come March at the trade deadline, I think that's the guy. If the Flames were to make a deal, that the Oilers would be super interested. And like that's a guy that could make Darnell Nurse just go hair of ball. You know what I mean? So that's why I asked.
Well, he'd be a good fit for Edmonton because anyone he plays with gets better. Like it took Vancouver a while to figure out Quinn Hughes after Tanev, and in Calgary, Hannafin's best year was with Tanev. Anderson's best year was with Tanev. Shillington's best year was with Tanev. He is someone who you can build a defense around, and like there's a reason why Solovyov is playing with him to start with this, because he is someone who elevates guys. So no, he would be great. And look, I know like it was an attempt to trash talk by a team that's 2-5-1, but it's the Flames should be making those moves. They should
100%.
They should trade Tanev. They should trade Hannafin. They should trade Lindholm. They should have traded Backlund. They should Markstrom. Like just anything not stapled to the ground should be traded by the Flames, but that is not the direction of this team and has never been the direction of this team, and it won't be the direction of this team. So they will probably try to sign him to an extension that will make all of us feel a great deal of pain. But no, like he should be a future first-round pick for the Calgary Flames of some sort, because this should be, I think it's very obvious this team isn't good enough and they should be rebuilding.
It's funny, you talked about the Flames kind of implementing a new defensive system this year, and one of the big talking points for Edmonton Oilers fans this year has been that new box and one zone defense that they're trying to play this year. Obviously has not worked out. They'll go periods against Minnesota, New York, whatever, where they bleed 20 shots, high danger shots right in the slot, and they're leaving their goalie hanging them out to dry, obviously. And that hasn't been the whole story, but this seems like it's the first game where they put together a full 100% defensive effort where they didn't bleed anything. Now the offensive talent on the Flames is not like that of the New York Rangers or even the Minnesota Wild. Marcus Foligno, I'd probably be one of the best forwards on the Flames, to be honest with you. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't wait for Zach to be just right back knocked down to what he was like 2 days ago after the Oilers lose their next 2 games.
If they lose to the Blues, we're missing the playoffs. Macklin Celebrini's like second line center next year.
Yeah. No, so I wanted to transition into something that you guys brought up. Obviously, the 3 of you were there. Peter and I were not stuck. This is a great shout out to the Pint. I didn't mean to say stuck. I would actually rather be here based on what a couple of comments from you guys. I wanted to get I've never been to an outdoor game. I don't know if you. No.
Not missing out.
Yeah, so you guys had some pretty interesting comments. Obviously, Avery, you had a bit of a different vantage point than these 2 peasants, but. Tell us about how it was, because it's definitely a different experience, and you guys definitely had some comments about your experience at Commonwealth tonight.
Yeah, I can.
I'll start by because I was kind of at the lower bowl area. And when you're at that altitude, it's not like your typical arena, right? Like this is a situation where the rink is way deep into the middle of center field. And when you are that low to the altitude, there's literally nothing you can do to see the play on the ice. The only way to get any sort of semblance of what was happening out there was to look at the monitors. And the Jumbotron was not the best. Like, let's be honest.
I was so far away, I couldn't see the Jumbotron. I couldn't see what was going on the ice. You could see a little bit here, a little bit there. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Saddam. I would, every day of the week, choose to sit in press level 10 over sitting in sitting at the where I was. And I was in the lower bowl too. Like, I thought it was going to be good. And the vibes were cool. Like, I think the idea of an outdoor game is awesome. But when you're there and it's even -2 and you're not moving and you're freezing cold and you're just like, okay, you're looking at the clock here, 10 minutes left in the third. Like, let's finish this. I just want to get to the Pint where it's warm.
Yeah, that's
Like,
how we felt just because we were watching the Flames, but
But like overall, like I just thought like the visibility point, like it was really hard to see anything that happened on the ice. And to make matters worse, like I left my seat with like a minute and a half left in the first period to go meet you guys under the Jumbotron to take a picture for Game Over Edmonton. I don't know why you picked the farthest place from the press box possible.
right now they're turning on each
the
other. This is
opposite
going
side
exactly how
of the
Peter and I
arena
planned
from
it.
him, and
How
so
long did it
far
take
for
you to get
you.
there?
Okay, so first of all, my thinking was, okay, you guys are near the Jumbotron. That was my thinking. You guys are near the Jumbotron. I'll go where you guys are. But also, too, the concourse tonight was a disaster. I got stuck there. I got crushed by like 1,000 people trying to meet these two because the concourse was just clogged. It was horrible for getting around. And I think I think it's a bad look as well. They have Heritage Classic in Edmonton, and fans can't move in intermission. I thought it was a really bad look as well.
Like I wish to be in the Saddle Dome concourse in intermission when I was walking around the Commonwealth Stadium.
You don't hear that too often.
You could not move unless you were actively pushing people. Like, not even lightly. Like, you need to be like it was an Oklahoma. Like,
Two-hand shove.
literally, it was tough.
Well, and I hate to rag on event staff because they're doing their job as best as they can. But let's be honest, there were no ushers really. People were moving around during play. Like the aisles should be clear. It's a hazard essentially when it's the 1 minute left in the period. Everyone's trying to go to concessions, trying to go score some merch, trying to get pictures with Avry. Like, no matter what it would be, there was no part of the venue where you could walk freely. Part of it was there. Maybe it's just because it wasn't built for this volume of people to be moving at the same time. But when you're there, we were just trying to go to the bathroom. Zach and I were just saying, there was no chance you were going to make it there and out of the bathroom line in 10 minutes.
I looked at a guy in the bathroom line. I was like, I would rather piss my pants than my inmates.
I was gonna say,
And I literally held it until I got to the Pint. And I don't know if it's TMI or whatever.
you didn't pee in the sink, did you?
No.
Thank goodness. I don't want you peeing in those things.
No. I didn't do that, but like, I'm gonna sound like Larry David here, but there was just no game etiquette whatsoever. No game etiquette. Oh, it was unbelievable. But you know what? It was a great time. Like, the event was really, really cool. Honestly, it's more for the players than anything, I feel like. And I think they were really happy. Watching them celebrate on the ice was awesome to see, especially seeing after such a tough start, seeing them get back on the tracks, seeing Desharnais and Stu hug at the end of the game, seeing McDavid do all the different interviews and whatnot. It was really nice to see. It was really cool. Nickelback was a lot shorter than I thought it would be, to be honest, too. But they were really cool. I felt a little bad for them too, because like it was so cold that like it felt like no one could even get into the songs. Like, they brought out a mosh pit, and it was the weakest mosh pit I've ever seen in my life. You could go in there with a carton of 48 eggs, walk directly through the mosh pit, and not a single egg would be cracked.
Sounds right.
Like, here's the thing though, half of that mosh pit was CFB Edmonton. Like, they were clearly there to keep order. And when you're at a mosh pit full of military guys, do you really want to be throwing elbows? Like, let's be honest.
No, I'd be a bad idea. But one funny thing too, in the press box during Nickelback, they dimmed the lights in the press box.
Really?
I thought it was very weird.
They really
setting the
wanted to
mood for
set
you
the
and
mood.
Bob.
Does Nickelback have any slow songs? Yeah, I guess they got a couple. Yeah, they wanted to set the mood. They just wanted to, get some dancing going. Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, it makes me feel a little bit better that I was here enjoying some great company, some great food, some great drinks here at the Pint off Whyte Avenue. Everybody's just kind of mingling. I was gonna say we could get a round of applause maybe, but I don't think everybody's too yeah, it's too hard to hear. But a huge shout out to them for letting us be here and doing this live. This has been awesome. And also to our friends obviously here at Temperance Spirits. We've been enjoying some Temperance, some of their products here throughout the night. So be sure to check them out. And a huge thank you to them. They're over here as well, providing us with all these goodies. So we're gonna transition into the presser. It's a live presser. I think we're probably gonna just have to read from the chat for now. Yeah, we're gonna pull some questions from the chat. We probably should have given everybody a bit of a forewarning if you're watching live that we're gonna be doing this. But Dennis is on it right now. He's.
I mean, there's a couple of general questions. I think you guys have probably answered them before in the past. But like Peter, Auddie, you've watched this Flames team for all of last season, part of this season. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, far too long, actually.
what is the fix? Because I'm sure Flames Nation out there really, really wants you to tell them what is the fix if you guys were the GM.
I'm going to let this very loaded and heavy question that probably requires too much length for us to even be live go to you.
Well, I mean, it's a simple answer, and it's change everything. It is kind of like, but no, like honestly, like this is a team that since 2004 has been celebrating mediocrity, and it has just to get into the playoffs has been the mantra, which leads to Owen Nolan and Olli Jokinen and all of those guys being brought in, and that's what led to, instead of understanding you probably needs to go in another direction when Gaudreau and Tkachuk wanted out of town, they try to keep things going a little bit with maybe misunderstanding what made Jonathan Huberdeau so good in Florida, and maybe overestimating what Nazem Kadri was going to be post Colorado. And now you're stuck with a team that has a lot of older players on longer term deals, and they're looking to add more older players on longer term deals with Hannafin and Lindholm.
And I mean, there's a follow-up question here from Marianne L. Thank you for the question. This is the situation, right? You had to trade away Sean Monahan in order to make this happen. And right now, he has more points than Kadri and Huberdeau combined. Like, you had to give up a first-round pick for that to happen. How does that make you guys feel?
This is the opposite of that Simpsons episode. Your campaign has the strength of a runaway train. This is like, your team is everything like a dumpster fire. Thoughts? But no, like it is a full systemic thing. And the honest thing is, we were talking about this before the game. How many team situations would you trade the Flames with? And it's like, I would take the Flames over San Jose comfortably, probably Washington, and then the rest of the league you have to kind of think about. And that's just where the Flames are at right now. So the quick fix isn't there. You're hoping, you're hoping, and sorry that I'm rambling here. You're hoping that the energy Ruzicka can bring when he comes back will help. You're hoping that the energy Pelche can bring can help, because right now they are lifeless. They are dead. There's just nothing with this group. And so you're hoping that there's an infusion of youth. But Corey Pronman did his 5-year outlook from The Athletic. The Flames' top line, according to Corey, in 5 years is Huberdeau X and X.
Maybe there's another Peter. Somebody was just hollering at you. Hey, Peter.
It's not the first time someone's yelled at in a bar that I've been at. So
yeah, there's like Peter said, he pretty much hit the nail on the head. There's no quick and simple fix. For me, it's tear it down, and I think for you it's the same. But I actually the best quote was when I saw Nickelback was. Right before they played "Burn It to the Ground," they said, "Well, it was in response to the arena, but it could apply to the Flames as well." But Chad Kroger says, "Since you guys want a new building so bad, why don't you say we burn this fucker to the ground?" And that could be applied for both the Saddle Dome and the Calgary Flames roster. So.
I have a question. This might be. I don't know if this makes sense. If Murray Edwards decides to stick to the guns that he's doing, and we're gonna add at the deadline again, we're gonna bring in Michael Stone again. I don't know. But like, if there is no, we are going to tear it down and rebuild. Is there any way that the Flames can ice a competitive team, or is it just gonna be like your decade of darkness?
Man.
you kind of like you need everyone to get back to being the peak version of themselves, right? Like you need 115-point Huberto and 82-point Kadri and Lindholm to be what we all kind of think he can be. And then Zari needs to reach a level that most don't think he can get to. Like there is a path to it, but it's just, it takes best case scenario from everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what Peter said. It's not a quick and easy fix. We got some heckling going on. I'm surprised it took this long. I'm surprised it took this long to get to us. That's why we're not wearing jerseys. Dennis is obviously not brave enough because they won, but the only one representing the Oilers here. But yeah, the quick the meat and potatoes of it is I don't think it's as likely as some people might think.
Any Oilers questions?
We do have one. I missed the name, but essentially the question was, Bouchard was really good tonight, and we've had scenes like this year. Bouchard has given away some real pizzas, and at the same time, he scored like 2-goal games. He's done amazingly on the offensive side. But when you looked at this game, does it feel like a turning point for Bouchard?
Okay, so for Evan Bouchard, I just want to say, he's been screwed by on-ice save percentage. You've seen the similar giveaways by players like Warren Fogle, by players like Brett Kulak, Vincent Darnay, Philip Broberg, where he gets his ankles broken by, I don't know, some bum on the Rangers. And those don't result in goals in the back of the net. It felt like earlier in the year whenever Evan Bouchard even just had this semblance of the smallest little miscalculation, whether he's not tough enough on the wall, if he did lose a board battle, every single time it ended up in the back of the net. His individual PDO was not good. It was not there. He was getting PDO to hell, essentially. Evan Bouchard, even when he allowed 3 goals while he was on the ice, was still creating, multiple goals, multiple opportunities for the Oilers. He was one of the few players when McDavid was out who was creating offensively for them from the blue line, right? So you're just seeing a little bit of the luck turn. I think that's all it is for Evan Bouchard. I think he's always been there this season.
He has been. And it's funny, Zach, whenever we do a post-game show or I see on Twitter, I always see a bunch of, trade Bouchard. He's a bum. For who and for what? Like, good teams don't trade Evan Bouchard away. They flat out don't. It's like, it's silly. Like, this is the kind of guy you help build your team around at the back end, and you want to trade him? Well, like, you will lose that trade every single day of the week.
You don't trade players like Evan Bouchard. 10th overall, right shot defenseman, 6'2", is easily capable of being a point per game. You don't trade those guys.
Speaking of trades, we're going to do one last question. Thank you guys so much for being here, guys and gals. We have a 2-parter question from Luke and also Al. So first off, the Oilers side of the question. Will the Oilers go into this last bit of the season with soup and stew? Because that's let's be honest, not the ideal situation in net. And for the Calgary part of the question, Campbell for Markstrom, what's it going to take to make it work?
No, they're gonna go with Stoop and Stew. It's just like I can dream and wish for UC Soros or Martin Jones. Even some days I find myself wishing for stuff that's not even not safe for work. But it's gonna be Soup and Stew. You just have to hope that event essentially they put up a 901 or above. That's literally it.
The question was Campbell for Markstrom. I mean,
How many firsts you got?
that's it. Yeah,
Philip Broberg.
I think the Flames probably hang up the phone there.
Looking at Campbell's cap for the
Oh God.
Got 3 more years left after this season.
no.
Yeah, no. No.
That is a first and it would take a lot, especially now that Markstrom's kind of back on track. Yeah, no, it'd be bad.
Yeah, he's back. Just everybody else never really got there. So, no, that was great. That was thank you guys for the questions. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm speaking on behalf of all 5 of us here, but this
miserable time.
Yeah. Okay. Aside from having to come on here and talk about what we saw, the whole thing has been great.
Yeah.
We thank you to. I know we've said it countless times. Thank you to our friends here at the Pint for making this all happen. Thank you to you can't see him. Andrew Berkshire is here as well from Game Over Montreal, and our fearless leader Andrew's here as well. So huge thanks to him for getting all this set up and getting us out here. Thank you to his parents for housing him while he's here. Thank you to everybody who showed up. This is great. The Flames are well represented over here. Unfortunately, they weren't represented at all on the ice tonight. But this,
best case scenario for me.
yeah, best case scenario for Zach, and then he'll be back to bitching and moaning on the next game over Edmonton. So just you wait, Edmonton fans. And of course, as always, thank you to our friends over at Temperance Spirits for all of the amazing cocktails and mocktails.
Housed that margarita. I was supposed to wait for it to be on here, but I could not stop.
Yeah. He said, I asked them, I said, can I crack one now? And they're like, yeah, this is the blonde. And I can't stop drinking them. But it's great. That's the whole point of this. But yeah, thank you to everybody who watched. Thanks to everybody who was here for the live event. This has been Game Over Edmonton, Game Over Calgary, live from the Pint on Whyte Ave. We'll see you guys on your next Game Over Calgary and Game Over Edmonton streams here.
Game over Edmonton, season over Calgary.
Season Over Calgary on SDPN Sports.